This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 987, 3 Ways to Find Healing After a Broken Relationship, by Kristena of CoreLivingEssentials.com. Hello, everybody. I am your host, Greg Audino, wishing you a happy Sunday, and thanking you for spending a few minutes of your weekend with us here on the show that is all about bettering your relationships. But we also want to focus on healing ourselves when important relationships end. And luckily today, our author Kristena has some words of wisdom about how to do that and heal our relationships with ourselves in those times. So let's jump in, let's see what she's got for us, and start optimizing your life. 3 Ways to Find Healing After a Broken Relationship, by Kristena of CoreLivingEssentials.com. When we have a broken heart, we often avoid feeling the pain. Whether it is a divorce, a breakup, or even a job loss. We fill our lives with busy work to get through the pain, but there's no easy way out of those overwhelming empty feelings. We need time to grieve and accept the heartache. Otherwise, it will heal very slowly or not at all. Experts recommend we go through the emotional pain, not around it. By learning to deal with these emotions, we become stronger people and more capable of handling our trials. Get out a paper and pen and jot down potential personal goals to work through emotional pain you are facing as you listen to the following strategies. Number 1. Find a new purpose. Quote, "Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how." End quote. That's by Viktor E. Frankl in Man's Search for Meaning. The first step to accepting pain is to understand who we are inside and why we react the way that we do. You need to let go of whatever is prolonging the pain, fear, anger, anxiety, discouragement, etc., and find a new purpose. For example, war veterans who face years of prolonged pain have been found to flourish when they find a new purpose to put their energy into, which could include family, purposeful employment, or service of some kind. Think of your broken relationship or situation as a classroom. Ask yourself, what should I learn from this? I know of a man who hated his job, and then he was eventually laid off and endured a horrific year before gaining new employment. At first, he questioned his worth, but instead of harboring the pain, he worked through it and realized with the new job, he gained improved employment and pay as well as giving him more time with his family. When you're filled with pain, it's not easy to see it as an opportunity to learn, but it is the best way through. It may seem impossible to recover from a divorce or a breakup, yet the very same principle applies. You decide your viewpoint. You also decide how much pain you will go through, just as this man did. You need to know your purpose or find a new one. Number 2, exercise. Depression and anxiety are often feelings that accompany emotional pain, and physical exertion gives you immediate short-term relief to these sometimes crippling side effects. Activity increases the level of serotonin and norepinephrine and stimulates brain chemicals that foster the growth of nerve cells. On an emotional level, this is one thing you can control and become a master of for your body's and mind's well-being. Getting started is often the hardest part of this step toward healing. So find something you enjoy doing or have always wanted to try, such as walking, hiking, tennis, running, swimming, or maybe even kickboxing. Find out if there's someone in the neighborhood or ward who participates in one of these activities and would let you join. Just remember to take it slow at first. In these endeavors to keep our bodies and minds healthy, we often make new friends who can support us when we have relapses of emotional pain or bouts of depression or anxiety over the situation. There is also power to working out in a group. It can provide you with a tribe that soon becomes family. This can also help provide you with a new purpose in life. Make it a fun journey by tracking your progress. It doesn't need to be about weight as much as to get in shape or to just feel better and connect with new positive influences and friends and give you a goal to focus on instead of your pain. Number 3, forgive and move on. Quote, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." End quote. By Martin Luther King Jr. When we have been hurt in relationships, we could also just jump into the next relationship to fill the void and potentially start the same bad relationship all over again. or we often build walls to prevent from being hurt again. Yet that also keeps out people who could help us, especially the Lord. In our time of need, we should seek the Lord, rely on Him more, and search for how He would forgive others in the same situation. He is the way to change our perspective and to heal. People need people. We just need to surround ourselves with mentally and emotionally healthy people and have healthy boundaries. Forgiveness allows the pain inside to be set aside in order to see things from a different perspective, and maybe begin to see why the actions of those who hurt you happened. It doesn't always mean we have to provide them opportunities to act on those shortcomings, fears, or struggles in a way that will hurt you again, but it can mean that you can stop carrying their burden as your own and move on. If they are open to it, we can have a conversation with them, or we can choose to distance ourselves from them. We often believe they don't deserve forgiveness, but we must remember that we forgive for our own well-being, not theirs. When we don't forgive, we are bound to that person, and the link between you will stay connected through feelings of hurt and resentment. Do you really want to live with that all of your life? Forgiveness will break the bond, and you can walk away free with a giant weight lightened. We all struggle with the fear of loss and failure at some level. Dealing with emotional pain, whether it was a good or bad relationship or other heartaches, is immensely difficult. Work to change your view. Learn to see the person who hurt you as no longer the villain, but a teacher who has helped you understand yourself and ask, am I strong? Am I compassionate? Am I empathetic? Do I know my divine identity? Learn to forgive those who never apologize. It will free you. You just listened to the post titled, 3 Ways to Find Healing After a Broken Relationship by Kristena Eden of CoreLivingEssentials.com. And thanks so much to Kristena for sharing that today. Some great tips from her laid out easily. A quick note about the last one, forgiveness, however. So forgiveness is indeed such a good path to follow, but sometimes we aren't ready to honestly forgive as much as we'd like to. Honest, genuine forgiveness can be a very hard process to navigate. It can be a hard place to get to, and it's not something we always feel a sense of control of. That's okay. So if you find yourself wanting to forgive, maybe even verbally forgiving, but not feeling it in your heart, focus more on acts of forgiveness. Maybe you're still angry at them and you think they're lying, but give them a chance to talk and listen to them when they do. Do things that may be helpful or meaningful for others should you find the opportunity, even if you're still holding on to some contempt inside. These actions can repair a lot, and they're really great catalysts for feelings of forgiveness, true forgiveness. And on that note, we are going to wrap up for today. Thanks a lot for joining as always, and have a marvelous rest of your weekend, everybody. You know I'll be back with you tomorrow for another narration, so I hope to see you there, where your optimal life awaits.